All right, today's story time is kind of wild, so let's get into it. So there's a lot of health stuff going on right now, and it's a lot to process, a lot to piece through. And then in my storytelling way, I have to kind of come up with like how to process it in a way that somebody else would understand and that might be interesting or helpful to other people. So there's a lot going on up here in my mind right now. But today what I wanted to talk about was my allergic reaction to Vaseline, which really took me by surprise. So as you all know in the last video, I had a scalp biopsy. I had 2 scalp biopsies actually taken from my scalp last week by a dermatologist. When I went in to get moles checked, they were like, oh my gosh, your scalp looks like something's going on that's more than seborrheic dermatitis, which is what I'd been told 6 months ago and have been treating since then. So they took 2 scalp biopsies. I'm getting so out of breath. That's another health update to tell you guys, but that'll be in another video, is my breathing problems. And so she took 2 scalp biopsies and we get the results next Monday. So fingers crossed that it shows something, because I will be so disappointed. I am crisscross applesauce in my chair right now and it is moving a lot. I'm gonna be so disappointed if nothing comes back from the scalp biopsy and we're back to square one of not knowing what is going on with my skin. But I think what happened with the Vaseline further proves that something seriously is wrong with my skin. So had the scalp biopsy more than a week ago now, a week and 2 days, and after I had the biopsy, they sent me home and they said, these are your instructions for recovery. And one of the things that you were supposed to do is put Vaseline or Aquaphor or something else on there, but all of them have the same ingredients in them. So I don't think I've ever used Vaseline on my skin actually. We used to use it when I was little and put it on our cats' paws when they had a hairball, so they would lick it off and it would help for them to pass a hairball. We haven't used it in years though. And so I didn't own any Vaseline. So we went out to the store, my dad got me some Vaseline and we started applying it the next day. Because what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to keep the wound of this punch biopsy site moist, because they don't want it to scab. I'm assuming it would lead to scarring or whatever. It's in the middle, it's like right here on my head. Nobody's ever gonna see that unless I shave my head again, which I have done in the past and I could do again in the future. Who knows? But I'm not really worried about scarring. So anyway, we are supposed to daily put on the Vaseline on both sites so that when they go back in to take out the stitches, it'll still be moist and look good. And so I'm supposed to do that through next Monday. So we diligently started doing that, right? And my scalp was so itchy. It was so itchy, but it was a little itchy after they did the scalp biopsy that day. I don't know if they put any Vaseline on it after. I guess I should have asked. I don't know, but it was itchy starting the first day. But I think what was also itchy was just having the 2 sites where there were stitches, and that was really itchy. They also used alcohol, which really burned my scalp when they were wiping it before the incision. They wiped it with iodine as well, and they put lidocaine in there, which I've had some weird reactions to lidocaine too. So I was like, you know what? I think it's just whatever they used on my scalp. Hopefully the itching will go away. Well, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, my scalp was so itchy that when I started scratching, I maybe would just go like this to like fix my hair, or like run my fingers through my hair to like finger brush my hair. If I touched or brushed my scalp in any way, accidentally or not, I was uncontrollably scratching after that. Like I could not physically stop scratching. And both my parents, whichever parent was there and watching me, would be like, stop it. Stop it. And I'd be like, I can't. I literally can't. And so at night when I was trying to sleep, if I got started scratching, I couldn't stop. I felt, oh my God, it was so unbearably itchy. Now my skin, like I've talked about in the last video and in other videos, has been itchy for years. I've been on 2 Benadryl for it. I'm on 2 other medications for it. Like I have scalp itching problems, but this was to another level where I just could not stop myself even if I wanted to from scratching my scalp. Like once I got started, I would just be like going crazy in there. And so finally on Monday, my dad was like, he just kind of threw it out there. He was like, okay, the only other thing we changed was the Vaseline. And I was like, oh my God, I bet it's the Vaseline. So I Googled, can you have an allergic reaction to Vaseline? And guess what? You can. It's not common, but it's possible. I'm looking at my laptop over here where I have all the notes from looking it up. And so yeah, some individuals may develop allergic reactions, and you can have red, itchiness, irritation, blisters, or pimples. I felt like at the base of my neck, which the dermatologist had said, oh, the base of your neck looks the best out of all your scalp. The base of my neck was breaking out in what felt like pimples or acne. And I was like, what is this? And all over my scalp, it was so scabbed up, irritated. And I normally have some scabs, usually right here at the crown of my head with the subparatic dermatitis or whatever is going on in my scalp that we haven't figured out yet, that hopefully we'll get answers from the scalp biopsy results on Monday. But I've had, you know, scabbing that I've been trying to deal with, but this was scabbing all over my head. And when I would take a shower, you know, I would take my nails and kind of try to get off the dead skin, especially on the sides here because the biopsies are on the top, so I could use my nails on the side. I would just, I mean, it would just be covered under my nails, would be white from dead skin that I was getting off, and it was so bad. And once I stopped using the Vaseline, when I took a shower and go like this, very minimal dead skin was under my nails. So I mean, it just blew up my scalp. It really, truly hated the Vaseline. And so what I did on Monday is I contacted my dermatologist and I was like, hey, you know, I think I'm reacting to the Vaseline. Can I just use coconut oil instead? Because I was like, I mean, I've eaten stuff with coconut oil in it. I haven't reacted. I think putting it on my skin would be okay. It's known to be very moisturizing. That was my only other thought of what I could use, because all the other recommendations that they had on that sheet of paper had the same ingredients as Vaseline. And so they got back to me and they were like, yes, you can do that. And so since then, so it's been 5 days, my scalp has gotten so much better. The thing is, you can never be 100% sure that, you know, a reaction or something is cause and effect from something. However, the timeline perfectly lines up to my crazy scalp reaction being from the Vaseline. So that's why I'm saying that it was from the Vaseline. And I've been doing more research on Vaseline because I was like, don't people use this like on their lips, on babies? Like, this is something that I wouldn't think I would have reacted so crazily to, but I found out some crazy stuff that I wanted to share. So Vaseline is also known as petroleum jelly, right? And it's primarily composed of petrolatum. I had to look up how to say that word because I didn't know. I'm learning new things. And it's literally, petrolatum is a semi-solid mixture of hydrocarbons which is obtained from refining crude oil. I was like, Vaseline is made from crude oil? Refined crude oil? I was putting that on my scalp? No wonder I've reacted to that. We're putting this on babies and on our lips? What? My mind was blown. That's crazy to me. And so I also further looked it up, and it said that not all petrolatum is refined in the US, which means it can be contaminated with toxic chemicals. And I was like, oh my God, so we don't even really know what is in Vaseline. And so it could not even only be the refined oil that my body is reacting to, but it could be these other toxic chemicals that might just like show up in Vaseline, which is crazy. Yeah, because it goes on to say, when properly refined, this is the campaign for Safe Cosmetics. I got this information from their website, by the way. When properly refined, I've already forgotten how to say the word, whatever, has no known health concerns. However, with an incomplete refining history, whatever the word is, could potentially be contaminated with PAHs, which are polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, and those are toxic chemicals. Health concerns. This is scary. I didn't see this earlier when I was doing research. Oh my God. Health concerns, cancer. Cancer. Oh my God. Oh my God. The primary concern with petrolatum is the potential contamination with the PAHs. National Toxicology Program considers PAHs as a class to contain reasonably anticipated carcinogens, which are cancer causing. Oh my God. So 14 of the PAHs are probable or possible carcinogens, and one of them is a known carcinogen. This is so scary the more I'm reading. Oh my God. Wow. So women with high levels of PAH DNA had 50% greater risk of breast cancer. Oh my God. The EU mandates that for cosmetic use, the full refining history of petrolatum, whatever it's called, must be known and proven to be non-carcinogenic. The US sets no requirements. No requirements on refinement and PAH content on the petroleum used in personal care products. What are we doing, America? Honestly, what are we doing? That's crazy. So it says how to avoid products with it. Avoid products with it. Never using Vaseline again, unless the company clearly indicates Petrolatum, whatever it's called, is fully refined as white petrolatum. Is that how it says? It just doesn't look how it's pronounced. Like the word does not look like how it's pronounced. That's crazy. So I don't know if Vaseline says that it's fully refined as white petrolatum or whatever it's called, but either way, I'm allergic to something in it. That's really crazy. Okay, upon further inspection, it does say, according to Google, don't know how accurate this is, that Vaseline is white petrolatum, but that's just scary. Like that is really, really scary that the US does not have any requirements for that. So I've definitely learned a lot, and it's crazy that our cosmetic usage doesn't have those requirements for carcinogenic things to not be included. Oh my God, like that stresses me out so much. This is why I don't use makeup. I don't use like skin products or like hair care products. I mean, I just stick to the basics that I know are clean and good for me and that have been recommended by my PCP, who I like really, really trust and respect. But like this stuff is so scary. Oh my God. So anyway, that's kind of the journey that I wanted to share. I wanted to also know, has anyone ever reacted to Vaseline or products with Vaseline or petrolatum in it, like Aquaphor, I think it was called, and some other stuff? I know that my skin is very, very sensitive to things, but I can't be the only one that has reacted, since Google said that people can have allergic reactions to Vaseline. So I'm just really interested in this whole thing. I wanted to share this story in case you were required to also use Vaseline after your skin biopsy, and to just think about these things like before we use them. Like I had no idea about any of this before I was told to use Vaseline, and I think that knowledge is power, and knowing these things so we can decide, or we could ask further questions, or we could say, hey, instead of using Vaseline or petrolatum products, could I use coconut oil instead? So much more natural. Like I don't know why they don't just suggest that. Most people have it in their kitchen for cooking, I think. The whole thing blows my mind. So I wanted to share this story, not to scare anyone, although I am really freaked out from learning more live, but also just to have us all think about these things, because I didn't think about it. Nobody warned me. And so yeah, I just kind of wanted to do this like PSA public service announcement to be like, wow, this is crazy. So anyway, I have so many things to share with you all in upcoming videos. We have been doing so many health things at once, some good, some bad. I've had a lot of reactions to things that I really want to share with you all. And then hopefully next week, I will have the results from the dermatologist and the scalp biopsy. So fingers crossed that we start to get somewhere on this health journey, and just some answers. Like with this skin stuff, I don't even know what's wrong. So I can't try treating it, or if it's uncurable, like try symptom management with it, because I don't know what's causing my skin stuff, you know? I'm so out of breath. I'm gonna go rest, friends. Thank you so much for listening to my video here today, and please comment below if you've used Vaseline, if you've had any reactions to it. Did you know this stuff about Vaseline or petrolatum? Like I didn't. So yeah, we're just all learning together. Thanks for listening, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.